All right, we're out here today in Washington County, Alabama, checking out some leucos, also on the hunt for wherryi. But this spot is probably one of the most incredible that I've seen so far. The Leucophylla and Alata hybrids here are just mind-blowing. We've got some really pinstripe veined, a lot of heavy hybrids, although nothing I've seen in this bog I would consider a pure Alata. Even these, you can see at a glance they look a lot like just a pure Alata would, but it's almost certain that these have some Leucophylla introgression. Also really common here are rosea hybrids. Here's a patch I hadn't even noticed yet. A lot of exornata here. And yet I haven't been able to find any pure rosea at all, which is interesting. That looks mostly rosea, but who knows how nearby they are, or if they're just remnant genes floating around in the population. Some of the yellows and oranges of these plants are some of my favorite colors to see in Sarracenia at all, and just the amount that present themselves in this bog are crazy. So many gorgeous plants here. The Leucophylla variation is just nuts. There at one time was some wherryi here, and their presence still sort of shows up in genes a little bit. You know, you could sort of see how this could have some wherryi influence, but I haven't really seen much here to suggest that there still are. There's nothing that I've found that even closely resembles a pure wherryi. It's sort of hard to tell with all the Alata influence as well, though. All right, still in Washington County, Alabama, and found a nice little wherryi population. This is the first one I found on my own without tips from some of my buddies, so that's pretty cool. We're right here along, I forget what highway this is, but it seems like most wherryi populations are sort of remnant on the side of these highways. And there is a really small amount of Leucophylla influence floating around in this bog. Let me see if I can find some of these individuals again. Here we go. You can see a little bit of Leucophylla influence. There's another one over here. Drosera capillaris all around, some brevifolia, and also tracei, all in this one little remnant spot. So I didn't get to find any full yellow petal forms, but come pretty close. That's really peachy. These right here are pretty light. Some really nice plants around here.
It's actually really fucking sick.
Yeah, I feel like even just walking out POV would be pretty decent B-roll.
Yeah, I already got her started. Just in case I post this with this audio, we're walking out of a cool-ass Harrison County bog we just happened to find.
Found a hybrid.
Oh, shit.
Well, it might be found it.
Oh, nice. Right next to a Pagonia, too. I'll stop and check him out. Middle Rose Pagonia. Got a hybrid. Sarracenia X Gordonii. I think we're coming up on that inverse population, too. I definitely want to get some video of that. Although I'm seeing that in a lot of these plants. That dude's pretty tall right there.
Dang. Nice little tall sphagnum moss, too.
These guys are going to turn pretty dark with time. Here's where those inverse vein. I'm not sure if this trait will continue as they grow and darken, but I'll have to come check on them. For now, those seem to be green inverse veins all throughout this population. That one really shows it off.
Oh, I couldn't. I saw movement across my boot. Big old wolf spider going across it.
I know, I just saw another one that I hadn't gone to look at. I still hope I can find that iris that likes to be out in these bog conditions too. Iris verna, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a real small one. It blooms kind of like bluish purple. I've seen some for sale online, so I'd love to add one to the collection, but also just to see one out here would be sick. And then there's these. Some sort of relative to blueberries, maybe. They look ericaceous, but not totally sure. Got some more cool alata here. This population's got some really cool spouts and lips, as well as some long lids, some really large lids. Lots of Drosera tracei as well. Haven't seen a bloom, unfortunately. The ones I grow at home are already blooming in mass, but I guess these need a little more time. A bunch of Psittacina flowers. I also saw some really cool, very, very light, almost pastel colored alata out here. Not sure if I'll be able to find them again, but this guy's real attractive. Actually, I think I see that one I was talking about. That alata is just insane. Camera doesn't even do it justice how pale it is. You know, there's this one, which is very green and lemony. And then that one. It just glows in the landscape. Really cool droopy lid right there. A heavily veined, sort of bulbous plant. That's kind of a crazy plant right there. Drosera capillaris down here. So that's both capillaris and tracei at this site. Here's some Psittacina actually putting some pictures out. Got some pretty dark pictures from last year. Still holding strong. You can see the new growth comes out quite green though. Little flower.
No way.
What?